Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. Lots of heat was in our forecast for today. We've reached the hottest day of the week, and well, for this Wednesday, lots of 80s out there. So a lot of 80s popping up, marking our temperatures about 15 to 25 degrees above seasonal for this time of the year. So with those 80s, they were moving in for most of the county west of the mountains, being pushed up with that heat by Santa Ana winds that were picking up. You had 86 degrees today for Fallbrook, 88 degrees, that's for Escondido. That was a high today, 83 for downtown, and even set some records out there. So we broke previous records, and that was for downtown as well as for Oceanside Harbor. Thinking back to the last time that we had a record temperature for Oceanside Harbor, that was in 1963 at 84 degrees. So now a new record has been set because of we broke it today by 5 degrees. Also, one of the hottest cities in the county for today, Vista. 91 degrees was the high today, setting a new record that previously was at 88 degrees back on this day in 2000. So a lot of heat that was out there, but now we're backing away, and that's with calmer winds in the forecast and then the shift to onshore flow by Friday. When we look at our weather headlines, those Santa Ana winds will continue through Thursday morning. They have calmed down, but they'll pick up a little bit more speed, especially across the backcountry. That will be in the morning hours, and then we get to the afternoon where we have the expiration of the wind advisory, so that will calm things down. You have for Thursday cooler temperatures out there with these calmer winds. We're flipping the script, so you had widespread 80s today, widespread 70s by tomorrow, more cloud cover filtering in as well. Even more cloud cover on Friday, even cooler temperatures, and there is a slight chance that we could see some light showers, maybe a few 1/100ths of an inch in some spots. Not everyone's going to see it, and it's also going to be relatively light. It's only a slight chance as of tonight, about 15% chance, and that's with the area of low pressure getting closer towards us, reinforcing that marine layer as we go from Thursday night all the way into Friday morning. And the more favorable location would be the mountains, actually, as that low does get closer to us. For the wind advisory, the wind alert, that made it a weather impact alert day for us here in San Diego County, and that was for the inland valleys and the mountains. We still have the continuation of the wind advisory through the morning hours for tomorrow. The strongest wind gusts were already reached today. That's with those gusts upwards of about 45 miles per hour for the inland valleys. Then you had the mountains that were up to 55 miles per hour. So all of that fast moving dry air leading to the heat that we had out there. But as mentioned, through the morning hours, still holding on to the alert. We still see some of those gusts popping up into the 30s, 40s, and even 20s, and this is around 6:15 for tomorrow morning. The purple shade indicating those isolated gusts right along coastal mountain slopes around the 50s. That's by tomorrow morning. Then we get past the alert time, and that's about 12:10 tomorrow afternoon. You can see that we'll still have a breeze out there, and it's still going to be offshore, but it's not going to be as intense to continue the wind alert across the mountains and inland valleys. So temperatures start to come down a little bit more as a result with weakening winds in our forecast. And we continue to have those winds calming down widespread single digits as we hit tomorrow night. When we look at our temperatures for your overnight lows, consistent with a lot of 50s, we have 57 degrees for Escondido, the same for La Mesa, 57 degrees for downtown, and 59 degrees expected for Chula Vista. Then you get into your highs for tomorrow. As I mentioned, getting rid of the widespread 80s, we're still going to have some 80s popping up for El Cajon as well as for Escondido, but a lot more 70s in our forecast as our temperatures start to cool a little bit more. Right along the coast, you have that northwest groundswell. It's going to be building up for tomorrow. That brings in high surf again. So elevated surf about 3 to 5 feet. Also talking about a high risk of rip currents at our local beaches. We could get that surf up to about 6 feet and sets up to 8 feet. That would be Friday. Nothing has been issued just yet by the National Weather Service, but we potentially could be looking at a beach hazard statement being issued reflecting that elevated surf on Friday that could stick around all the way into Saturday as well. So if you're not a skilled swimmer, you're advised to not be in the water during that time frame, especially with the high risk of rip currents. High pressure breaks down, series of low pressure systems start to get closer towards us. One closing in just a little bit more by Friday is the reason we're going to have even more cloud cover, onshore flow picking up, a deepening of the marine layer as we hit Thursday night through Friday morning. As I mentioned, that's the chance that we could see some light showers out there. Really small chances, but also they're still present, so we got to talk about them. Then you get more with the area of low pressure moving over northern Baja, so still keeping that marine layer in our forecast in the overnight hours, so night all the way through the morning, and then we get to the rest of the weekend. You have Saturday where that low is going to be close to us, so still dealing with some temperatures that will be closer towards seasonal, for at least for the coast, with more of those 60s. But then you have this area of high pressure that starts to build in. A lot more sunshine, lack of a marine layer on Super Bowl Sunday before another low moves in, and that brings our temperatures down. And also we look at chances of seeing some wet weather. So you have that slight chance, it's 15% for tomorrow, and it starts to taper off as that area of high pressure gets closer towards us. So we're looking at that as we go into a forecast for this weekend, and then you see an increase with other low pressure systems closing in on us and offering up a chance we could see some additional wet weather. I've seen some fluctuations when it comes to Wednesday. Earlier it was low, it was below a 15%, but now we're seeing it up to about a 39%. We'll continue to monitor Wednesday of next week. That looks to be the more favorable day. We could get some wet weather, and so if you start to see those totals going or chances going up a little bit higher, then we would add the raindrops right there in your extended forecast. But as of tonight, you're just going to see some cloud cover and a reflection of the cooler air that's going to move in. That's going to bring our temperatures down. Oh, never mind. Apparently the model did change. It has added those raindrops. So that is going to be for Wednesday. So you have the cloud cover that moves in. There's your slight chance that we're anticipating. That is going to be on Thursday. Clouds rolling in for our Thursday forecast. The red box indicating at least the first half of the day for the inland valleys, and that will be with the wind advisory still going. Expires at noon. Once we get past that, things a lot calmer. Onshore flow picking up, a lot of cloud cover. That will be for Friday. As mentioned, that slight chance by Thursday night into Friday morning. That's with the cloud cover returning in our forecast. We see more of that sunshine with high pressure building in by Sunday, and that gets rid of the cloud cover. We're looking at a lot of sunshine and feeling the warmer temperatures. So we go from the 70s back into the 60s for the coast. That's going to be on Friday and Saturday. You're back into the low 70s by Sunday. You have the 70s returning widespread across the inland valleys, and more of those widespread 80s in our forecast, not looking to be as hot as it was today. This ridge does not look to be as strong, and we're not going to have it coupled with Santa Ana wind. So that's why we're not going to be talking about a lot of really hot temperatures like we had today, but it will bump our temperatures up again. So going from the low 70s for Saturday to start off the weekend back to the low 80s for Sunday, and then you have temperatures that will cool right back into the 60s. And as I mentioned, forecast models just change, adding a chance for some wet weather by Wednesday of next week. So we'll continue to monitor that just a little bit more. When we look at the mountains as well as for the desert, still reflecting the red box, weather impact alert day, at least for the first half of the day. Then you get into the second half, and that's when things calm down with our wind speeds. We still hold on to 60s for daytime highs all the way through Saturday. You're back into the 70s with that area of high pressure for Sunday. You're back into the 50s with incoming low pressure system that offers up that chance for some wet weather. By next week, especially on Wednesday, 50s returning. The coolest day looks to be about Wednesday of next week as of tonight. And you have the 70s for the desert that holds strong all the way until Saturday. You're back into the 80s. And that's going to be on Sunday and Monday. You're back into the 70s, not expecting a chance for wet weather for the desert with this low, at least as of tonight, but it definitely will reinforce some westerly winds that will help bring our temperatures down just a little bit more. So of course, we'll continue to keep you posted on those chances, showing you that for Wednesday of next week just popped up with a chance for that wet weather. You're seeing that in the extended forecast. And so we also, in the next few days, would know a little bit more when it comes to just how much we could see, as well as a timing on that once models get into better agreement. So continue to stick with us when it does come to that potential of seeing some wet weather again. But right now we're just enjoying this dry period and a little bit cooler as we go into Friday. I hope you have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.